It looks like it's still.
No, it was just a couple pages back.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I'll make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
Roll call?
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes,
is there action?
No action.
make a motion to adjourn out of executive session.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
adjourn.
Adjourn the meeting, please. Motion to adjourn,
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes. All right.
Bye, guys.
The Board of Commissioners?
Make a motion to.
Bye.
Out of executive session.
No. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to give you an update on the water. Just want to give you an update on the water resources director posting. Right now, the current posting runs through March 3rd. And as of yesterday, we received one application.
That was about a week ago.
No,
2 weeks
actually
ago.
had two. And for this current posting, we received one additional, so now we have two qualified applicants. Just want to give you an update on that.
Are those local people or out-of-state people?
The one is from Sagamore Hills. And I'm sorry, I can't remember where the other applicant lives. I want to say Avon Lake, I could be wrong, but I feel like it's, yeah. So I just wanted to check again and make sure if you wanted to post or publish in newspapers, and it'll be print and online. I just wanted to see what you're, again, I know a few weeks ago, we weren't interested in publishing in just the ad in newspapers. I just wanted to confirm that we're still thinking that way, or do you want to?
How expensive is this, Janet?
For the Akron Beacon Journal and the Record Courier for 4 days and 30 days online, it's about $500. And then if we posted a Sunday in the Plain Dealer, just one Sunday, it's $170. If you want to do 30 days online for the Plain Dealer, it's additional $250.
The reason I asked, I got a call from someone at Water Resources, want to know why we didn't post it until it was filled. And I said, well, probably because of the expense. You know, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, we chose before not to post in the newspapers, but the fact that we're not getting a whole lot
At that
of,
level, I wouldn't think anybody.
Not in the newspaper.
but it also includes online too, so it's not like it's only print.
But you know what,
But again, I
what
wanna
you
be
get with the
careful.
online post, you get people that are required to do it for unemployment, and they're not even qualified
Yeah.
in this.
So how should we advertise for this? We don't
Well,
do it
and
online.
currently we're posting, it's posted besides the county website, we're posted on Indeed, Monster, CCAO. Then there are 3 water resources associations.
That's what I was.
So and I actually checked with the interim director, John Bentz, to see if we've seen anywhere else.
Yeah,
And he said what we have listed right now is good, and he'll try to think of, other places we could post, but he feels we're posting where
we need
we
to
need to
post.
post.
You know what, Janet, why don't you bring this back to us, because maybe, since it goes until the 3rd, maybe we'll have time to maybe get another one. I mean, we've got at least 2, and then we'll decide maybe next Thursday,
Yeah,
since
absolutely.
the 3rd is on a Wednesday, just to see. He said, I can't imagine at this level, people looking at the newspaper for it, yeah.
Yeah, but I just want to bring it up to you, just.
So I'm glad you did, and keeping us informed, I appreciate it.
Did you say there is an association for that level of engineer?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
We're in
actually, we did OTCO, which is the Operating Training Committee, and then the Ohio Water Environment Association, and then also the County Sanitary Engineer Association. So that one, yeah. And then plus the CCAO, and then Indeed and Monster, and plus Ohio Beach Jobs. We also listed there.
Thank you.
And just a quick follow-up, I just wanted to give you an update on last week's discussion, like flex time. We had a director meeting yesterday, and the director group has decided they're not interested in moving forward with the idea of the banking flex time, and they have asked me to hold on the topic. So I just wanted to give you a quick update that we're.
Yeah, 'cause it seems like every year this gets brought up, it's like, where's the confusion at? We seem like every year we waste a bunch of time on this, and that's why I said, are we just making more work for ourselves, like changing it constantly? And who's the one with the issue? Maybe that person is the one that has concern should come to us versus, because I've had other directors wanting to know why this keeps coming up. And I'm like, well, I thought it was because you guys, that's what we were told, you know? So, okay, table that.
Table that. Just want to do a quick update, and that's all I have.
Great.
Okay.
Oh, what about your journal entries?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, those are typical.
Just typical, okay, so Tony, you want to start reading this, starting with the B1
It's
resignation?
moved that the board, it's moved that the Board of Commissioners accept the resignation of Danielle Love, Social Service Worker 3 for Portage County Jobs and Family Services, effective February 12th, 2021.
Second.
Roll call?
Tony,
Yes,
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
it's moved the Board of Commissioners agrees to authorize the department to use an applicant pool from currently posted positions to fill the Social Service Worker 3 position, replacing Danielle Love.
Second.
Roll call?
Tony,
Yes,
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
it's moved the Board of Commissioners agrees to approve the leave without pay for Jobs and Family Services employee effective February 24th, 2021 until further notice.
Second.
Roll call?
Tony,
Yes,
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, Joanne, is Joanne out there? I thought I heard her.
Joanne.
Thanks, Dean.
Hello,
good morning.
how are you?
Well, just peachy.
The sun's gonna be out there.
The weather is nice and it doesn't, you couldn't dissuade me from anything today. Well, it's pretty easy, agenda today, I must say.
Very good. You want to go ahead and start going over your resolutions then?
Yes. Okay, the first one is on behalf of Water Resources. And this is for Hickory Creek, which is in Brimfield Township. Hickory Creek wants to install an 8-inch sanitary sewer, which once it is, the owner will convey this to Portage County as a gift to own, operate, and maintain.
The Board of Commissioners approves the general sewer and water agreement for sanitary sewers and water improvements to Hickory Creek Phase 1, Portage County Water Resources Department Project BR 220-140P.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes,
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes. Hey, Joanne?
Likewise, this next one is FLG Streetsboro LLC. This is for an 8-inch sanitary sewer that's in the Meadowview subdivision, phase 15 in the city of Streetsboro.
it's moved that the Board of Commissioners approves the general sewer agreement for sanitary sewer improvements of Meadowview subdivision, phase 15, Portage County Water Resources Department Project ST4-20-210-P.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes,
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Okay, the next one is again with FLG Streetsboro. This is lot 67 and 77 in the city limits and Meadowview subdivision.
it is moved the Board of Commissioners approves the general sewer agreement for sanitary sewer improvements of Meadowview subdivision, phase 16, Portage County Water Resources Department Project ST4-20-220P.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes,
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Okay, the last one is the necessity to terminate a septic assistance program agreement with Big Biz Trenching. It appeared that part of the restrictions when using these funds is the fact that the person that owns them has to be living on that property to have this work done. And in between what happened, the lady sold the property, so they couldn't follow through with this anymore. So
Okay.
that's why it's being canceled without cost.
it is moved the Board of Commissioners agrees to terminate the septic assistance program agreement dated September 1, 2020 with Dig This Trenching and Septic Services LLC.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Okay, and then, you're gonna see later on in water resources, there was a resolution in there to enter into an agreement with Blue Line Construction, which probably should have been on my agenda, but it kind of got slipped over. But I went through it and it's fine, so there's no questions for you guys to approve it when John comes in.
Okay.
All right?
Joanne,
Yes,
can you come back when John and Family Services is talking about the JFS rent?
I can.
Yeah, if you could. Just so-
I saw that she wanted to talk about that, but I have no idea
Oh,
what the
okay.
issues were.
Well, I think it would be good.
Yeah,
for you to-
sure, I'll be back.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you later.
Hot out there?
Todd, I don't know, but I'll go get him. I know where he
Thank you.
lives.
Hey there. Hey, Todd? You guys see the bill pay room? The bill pay, bill review?
Yes.
He's just getting off the phone. He'll be over.
Okay.
All right, see you guys later.
Okay.
Oh, you know what I called you yesterday? And then you asked about that classic. We have classic something in Streetsboro. Is this the same? Are they affiliated with them? Okay. Okay. Because I'm thinking to myself, I mean, we don't have that exact vendor in our system, but it's not hard to add. Yeah.
Am I up?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Todd.
Okay.
Did you get my email?
Yes.
I'm redevelopment number 2 right now. Otherwise, everything is within the right parameter.
So 1 through 4, deleting 2 is okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is moved the Board of Commissioners agrees to approve Thursday, February 25th, 2021 bills, ACH payments as presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Finance Management.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky, Sabrina.
It's moved that the Board of Commissioners agrees to approve Thursday, February 25th, 2021 journal vouchers as presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second.
Roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
It's moved by the Board of Commissioners agrees to approve the Thursday, February 25th, 2021 then and now certification as presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Number 5 is a typical grant that we get. I believe he uses this money to help cover spay and neutering of the pets he takes in.
It's moved by the Board of Commissioners agrees to accept the grant award for the Ohio Pet Fund Grant Program in the amount of $2,500 for the Portage County Dog Ward.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Number 6 and 7 are, and we're going to see more of these. The state is giving its departments CARES money, with which then they are offering grant opportunities to the like divisions, elsewhere in the state. So this is one where the justice system had money. They're offering probation departments money to help protect workers who have to go out in the field and visit with clients and whatnot. We received a $53,000 grant to help cover some of those expenses to help protect employees. So number 6 is the actual award, and number 7 is creating a fund then to expend that money from.
It's moved.
Hopefully we get more of those as the state continues that process.
Very good.
It's moved by the Board of Commissioners, authorized application agreement to enter into agreement between the Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Adult Probation and the Office of Criminal Justice Services Coronavirus Emergency Supplement Fund Grant.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
It's moved to create a Fund 1132 COVID Probation.
Second.
Roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Nine are budget amendments, just to get some things set up here for the coming year, particularly project funds is number 9. Number 8, we have a claims that needed to be paid by a department. That's kind of where we're rushing that one through now instead of at the end. That's what the 840 is to get claims paid to the insurance company.
It's moved the Board of Commissioners agrees to amend the General Fund 2021 Annual Appropriations Resolution 20-0802 adopted December 17th, 2020.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
It's moved the Board of Commissioners agrees to amend the Non-General Fund 2021 Annual Appropriations Resolution 20-0803 adopted December 17th, 2020.
second.
Roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, Pat, can you come back? JFS has talked us about rent.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Vicky. Ryan out there?
Here. Go ahead, Tom.
Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Okay. Quick agenda item today. Looking to approve a resolution to dissolve the Portage County Resident Advisory Committee to more closely align with the way emergency management is organized.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the dissolution of the Portage County Emergency Management Advisory Committee.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
Thank you.
No.
Ryan, before you leave here, I wanted to ask you to start thinking about Station 30. You know, we talked about getting rid of it. If we were to get rid of it, how would that look for you, or how much space would you need elsewhere? You know, there's some equipment you can get rid of, but can you start thinking, if we were to get rid of Station 30, how that would impact you in what space you would need? Or on the flip side, if we were to keep Station 30, what would you need? So,
We just having conversations, we've been having conversations.
yeah,
Apologize. We've been having conversations, obviously, there's a lot of different hands that are in Station 30, including fire department.
And that's
Red
why,
Cross,
yeah.
Public health, EMA, some sheriff's office training. So what we would do, we're looking at parting ways with a large urban search and rescue vehicle right now. That's gonna go to Stark County. Stark County wants to decontractor, that's a little more of a sensitive topic, we're gonna have those conversations, so. I'm gonna send an email today to the Fire Chiefs Association to host a meeting with respective subcommittees to have this conversation about those two assets. Those two assets are quite large, so if they do move on from those two assets, that changes the footprint quite a bit.
okay,
So the conversations are happening.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I think John's out there.
Hello, good morning.
Good
Morning,
morning,
John.
John.
Good.
Well, we got a couple items there, nothing too difficult, I don't think. One's relative to funding and one's relative to hiring. I don't know if you got a choice which one first, but maybe we'll jump.
We'll just
into-
go to the, first discussion is the loan application for Manaway Emergency Water Interconnect Project. You wanna go over that
Yes.
first, John?
So this is one of the first projects anyways, for the 5-year, I guess, planned improvements anyway to the new Manaway. So obviously, we're trying to get, some grant and funds anyway to alleviate the cost on for customers in the future here. So this is one of the first ones. This is the first preliminary step, just asking for permission to apply. Obviously, there'll be some steps in the future, you know, if we do get accepted. Obviously, you guys will be involved and, you know, probably need some signatures and that sort of stuff, so. This project's about $3.5 million anyway, so, it's pretty good sizable for us. There's a chance maybe if it does get approved, that probably the maximum is they will pay about 50% of that.
Oh, wow.
So if that is successful, so we'll see what happens. And the application is coming here in the future. So involvement
Okay,
That'll get processed and we'll see what the results are.
sounds good, yeah. Okay, next we have proposed wages for a new potential new hire.
Yes, so we interviewed here several days ago for one of the engineer positions that we have open.
Okay,
And
design engineer.
yes, not getting a heavy response. We interviewed an applicant, we feel it's a pretty good fit. But one of the things is, he is employed now elsewhere. His salary is more now where he's working anyways than what our minimum range is for this application. So I know there's discussions about, new hires and what the expectations are for what they make join the county. So with that anyways, I think the idea is that when you bring somebody on new with the initial intent that you want them down at the initial range, well, obviously that doesn't meet, I guess, this scenario that we currently have. It does meet the mid-range scenario. If I was to offer this person a position, and I think it would be successful anyways, it would come into the mid-range anyways at this point, not
Do you
the
know what that
initial
is?
range.
Do you know what the midterm is?
29, 22, I think exact. And that's why I referenced the wage chart from 12, 13, 18. I think there's some cost of living adjustments in there that are excluded out of that. There may be, I guess, a little bit difference when I reference that 19 or 29, 22 with the exact mid-range.
What is he currently making, and is he doing the same job, or is there something different?
Similar, he's doing more construction now. This is more design, but they are interrelated relative. And we think that is a big problem in transferring legal. He currently makes $27 an hour now.
So is there anything well, how's that gonna, and here's our concern, is, we hire him in, but he's working next to people that may
Sure.
pay on the low end, even though they've been here years. And this is an overall county problem we're having, and that's why we need to revisit that scale and
Sure.
figure out.
I mean, currently we have, for example, we do have a design engineer,
Okay.
and he's substantially above the salary, even the one I'm proposing at this point.
So it's not gonna,
There's nobody, for example,
I guess.
and there's the person that we have in that design engineer position now too has
I just can't imagine.
a gross amount more experience, but his salary is quite a bit more also. I don't have a scenario where I'm bringing somebody in that's even equal on the salary or even more. I mean, this would be
and I know, like, Jim used to start him out, like, we wouldn't start him at the 29, 22, maybe start him between the 27, 29, and then after a probationary period, we would bump him up to, like, let's say the 29, 22. And I'm assuming, would you come up with some proposal like that?
well, I'm limited to, he makes 27 now. I
Okay,
mean, obviously, I mean, there is some differences in between the 27 and 29 that you could offer. But my feelings are, I guess, to motivate somebody to bring them aboard. I mean, for example, if I offer somebody 27.50 when they make 27 now.
well, but now I'm
feel
saying,
like the
in
intent-
between the 27 and the 29, if he's making 27 now, like, we would have maybe offered him like 28, 50. And then after his probationary period, we bump him to the 29, 22.
I see.
That's what we were used to seeing at your department.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Oh, are you?
anyways.
Okay.
There is a little bit of additional, I didn't want to overwhelm the details on this initially.
Oh, no.
But what I was thinking in the proposal letter, he is not a professional engineer, he hasn't taken the test yet, but he will be eligible in the fall. And I wanted to write something in there, if he's successful in passing the test, and we would give him additional raise at that time. That's on additional to the 20 level.
On top of the 29?
What is, whoever's doing the job now, where are they at?
Mid or high 30s.
Oh, yeah. But they have an engineer's license.
They have an engineer's
So
license.
that's a
And more
huge
years
difference.
experience. But he will have the opportunity in the fall. No raise until he passes it.
I'd rather
If
just
you
stay
can't pass
home.
or just pass it, then
Yeah.
you don't really need the extra.
Ice.
But he doesn't truly have the certifications.
We don't require that you have an engineer's license at the start for this
Okay.
position.
Okay, well, that's good. to know. Okay. You're not, it's not required.
I mean, our feelings are, it's not required at this point. So, I mean, he's eligible. I'm not doing anything special or allowing something, you know.
Oh, no,
I
and
guess
I'm not
a
saying you
lesson
are,
just to
but,
get him on
okay.
board. And I mean, he's meeting all our eligibility requirements for the positions outlined.
Yeah.
So with that, I mean, I'm just, you know, it's a touch and balance, and I understand, you know, different departments are different based on, I guess, the experience and the level of schooling and certifications and that. You know, my feelings are with, you know, if this person is successful anyways, in passing the test anyways in the fall, and then, you know, even with the increase and to be successful anyways, after the test anyways, that salary range is, you know, at that point, we don't have any mechanism anyways to come back to you and say, hey, the guy's been here a couple of years, doing a good job. I want to give him a couple dollars an hour raise. At least in my experience, there is no mechanism to do that. So I'm trying to find a balance anyways, as he's hired on and the person engaged anyways and wanting to come to work.
Yeah.
You know, there's a whole side to this. We're involved in hiring consultants, you know, now. We probably don't have a very positive, I guess, reasoning why we're doing that. We find ourselves spending a lot of time coaching and mentoring. You know, after, I mean, for example, we have a sewer design project going on now. The consultant, I mean, it's almost $600,000 to do design work.
And this gentleman, he would do the design work of that type?
That's, yes. Yeah, this position anyways would be an equivalent of the people we're hiring to do that project that I just gave you an example
Well,
for.
that's good.
So you can save, we can save quite a
Oh, yeah,
bit.
it's substantial.
By
But the
doing
thing of it is with the consultants, we find ourselves spending a lot of time, a lot of our own time monitoring their work.
Yep.
So it's sort of doubly, I mean, there's a benefit, you're getting something out of it, but there is it's a discussion maybe for another day on that, but,
Okay.
so that's where we're at. So I don't know if you want to, look at making some minor adjustments or, you wanna
No,
come
that's the
back,
only
or-
thing that I noted is like I said, if, you know, our whole thing was to bring people up to the minimum, but we're finding, you know, in some positions, it's hard to do because you're bringing people in, making more than people that have been there.
Yeah.
So that doesn't seem to be the case in this. which is
I
good.
do not have that. I guess my summary of it is if this person comes on board, they pass the PE, I even give them that couple increase. I mean, probably I'm gonna struggle as time goes by, probably to keep them engaged anyways and keep them employed anyways at the county based on if I go and do the things that we do now.
Yeah, it seems like we've had a really hard time recruiting engineers. I mean, it's just, there's a big demand out there, it seems like. Okay, so what do you need from state? Because I don't see anything on here, because it would have to come back.
Well, you know, I've been discussing this with Janet and, you know, she's at with things. So, I mean, I think the intent is in general, hey, we're down here at this initial range. And that's why I'm here today anyways, I guess to
To see if we can, and then you
discuss this.
bring back the journal entry. Okay. All right, well, you convinced me. Did you tell me you guys?
I think your thought process is right on.
In general anyways, if I could get 4 or 5 people, even more, to replace the consultants, I think we would be substantially
Say,
better.
A lot of
absolutely.
savings.
We would be substantially
Absolutely.
better anyways, but that's another discussion for another day.
That's a good idea. Thanks, John.
Anything else? Thanks.
Oh, and now we have your resolution, I'm going to read for H. Lulite, that's one Diane, or Joanne took care of review.
It's moved, enter into the agreement between Portage County Board of Commissioners on behalf of Water Resources and H.L. Louis Construction Company.
Second.
And roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes. And get approve that journal entry.
It's moved, the Board of Commissioners authorize Portage County Water Resources to submit the pre-application for the WRSLA loan with Ohio EPA for Manaway Emergency Water Interconnect Project to support Manaway, Village of Manaway Public Water Systems
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes. Thank you, John.
Thanks,
Have a
John.
good- If you need anything, you know where to get us.
Okay, sure, thanks.
Thank you.
I'll leave you out there, Amy.
Yep, I'm ready.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That's why, we gotta really. Good morning. Hello,
Good morning.
ladies, how are you? Good morning, good morning.
I have to put my feet on the ground.
Okay. I thought you were trying to get higher so I could see your face.
Hey, hey, hey.
It's always a challenge when you're short.
But you're mighty.
Short, mighty, is that what it is? I guess. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
mighty.
Most of the time, not
You got
always.
mighty big legs.
Yeah.
Watch out.
So, shall I start?
Yep,
Yes,
go
ma'am.
ahead.
Short and old, I have to put on my readers now. This is a routine thing for me, so. I'm gonna start with I have to put this down to talk. The November, December data report.
Okay,
And so I didn't see anything change-wise in the Public Assistance Division on page 1. So I don't know if you had questions, but our numbers have been pretty consistent
Yeah.
with, yeah. And then on page 2 for our net transportation program, we talked about that as a Medicaid pass-through program. We're seeing some Emerald taking on some more trips from November to December, so that's always positive, from 117 to 211. And then the rest of the areas, as far as our customer service center or overpayment department, again, pretty consistent numbers. You're gonna see some increases in benefit recovery, and that's when we overpay public welfare benefits to clients to which they weren't entitled. So now that tax returns are coming, that area will intercept some tax returns to get some of those monies back. So you'll see those numbers in like February and March. Moving then on to page 3, which is our high wage jobs division. I did not have significant changes there. I did want to clarify, and we'll reword it. Commissioner Tony, specifically for you, if you have questions, there's a line that says total number of customers receiving unemployment. And that's not county unemployment numbers. Those are the people that are being seen at Ohio Means Jobs, and they're reporting that they're on unemployment. So it's 102 is just for the center, not the county. And again, I didn't have any additional changes there. Commissioner, you had asked about the virtual job fair last time I was here. And so there were 9 employers that participated in that back in the spring of last year, and we sent out surveys to all. We did get 5 surveys completed. The original surveys that came back didn't have data on people that reported back to them. And then we did another follow-up. We just had 1 employer report back that they heard from somebody from the virtual job fair. So at the very least, they got information during the fair, but the follow-up wasn't successful. So we'll keep trying in that space, but I wanted to make sure you had that data.
Great, thank you.
And so the impact program is the program that we're working with obligors in the child support division. That division continues to, or that area continues to grow. You see a number of participants employed and engaged. It says new data collection. So you're going to see that on a monthly basis as far as child support obligors, who's getting employment. You know, we're cold calling them. We're asking them to come in for session. So that data will be visible to you in the next months.
And is this what replaced like the passages?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. Work experience programs, again, still consistent numbers. On page 5 for our CCMEP program, that's the program that works with 14 to 24-year-olds. Our numbers continue to be consistent, growing a little bit. Before the pandemic, we were at like 240 young people, so we did see a dip because kids weren't being, or young people weren't being involved. So we're hoping that's going to grow. Under new leadership at the state, they're looking to rename that program. So more to come in that space as far as CCMEP. That was Governor Kasich's one of his projects that he brought to Ohio. And then moving on to children's services, which is page 6. As far as total children in custody at the end of December, we had 240 young people. As of Monday, we have 201. The numbers though are consistent as far as kids in residential treatment facilities there. We did add 2 categories on the bottom of this, and it's going to tie into a flyer that I also provided in my packet. We have licensed foster homes in Portage County. Currently, we have 46, and we have 11 pending. The number's a bit misleading because of the licensed homes we have. Only about 28 of them are currently accepting kids, and most of them are full. People were reserved in taking youth during the pandemic, and most of our foster homes now want children under 5. So that always provides a challenge to us because we have teenagers, and that's one of the reasons we opened the group home too, is we knew that they were harder to place. So I'll talk to you about the new initiative, but I just wanted to clear up that data. And then child support, consistent numbers. As of the end of December, staff numbers 191. Traditionally, or when we were full staff, we were at 200. I think we're at 187 now, so we have about 13 less staff than we had because of the hiring freeze. All my papers. So any questions on the data report?
Nope.
Anything else? Great. And then the flyer that you all have in the packet is, I have a black and white, but it's blue. We are going to move forward with a new foster parent recruitment initiative. We talked about it last year. Again, the pandemic hindered some of it, but we're going to offer in-person and virtual information sessions throughout the year. So you see April, June, September, November. Kim has drafted a press release that you'll see for your approval in the next day or so. We really want to entice Portage County residents to open up their hearts to foster parenting. So in these sessions, we might have some of our young people come and talk about their experiences, maybe encourage some of our current foster parents to talk about positive experiences. So looking at some Billboard campaigns, we have foster parent recruitment funds from the state. All 88 counties do. So we have a pot of money we're able to use for that. So we really want to encourage our kids to continue to be placed in Portage County when at all possible.
You know, I love your quote.
Kim found that quote. Yeah, wonderful quote. Questions on that initiative?
I think it's great. And you know, I have seen billboards like when I'm traveling Stark or Summit. So I know there's a desperate desire and need for foster care.
We used one 2 years ago, and it's a teenager, and it says I'm not too old, and it was also I'm not too old to be adopted too. But we really need local placements for kiddos, most specifically young female teenagers. So we're just going to put a lot of weight behind it, and we're going to get some people licensed. More people. Certainty grant. So our $1.4 million loss, which now is $1.9 million loss with Protect Ohio. We anticipated starting to receive those monthly allocations in January, as advised by the state, to make up for the loss for that 1 year, if you recall. And we expected to get like around 100,000 in January, 100,000 in February. Well, we didn't get January, we didn't get February, and Sue emailed the state just as recent as this week, and they said that they've outreached to their federal partners and haven't heard. So we're just on hold as far as those funds coming to us. But I just wanted to give you an update that while we anticipated it, it didn't happen. We are really blessed though that our tax monies are coming in from our Portage County residents. So that's been keeping us afloat, but want to keep you posted on this as far as what's going on in that space. And then our levy, we have a number now. We're number 1. So our new May levy, Children's Services is number 1. We put kids first. We're going to have another committee meeting after hours today to try to finalize our slogan. But again, if that's passed, that would generate about $1.9 million new dollars for Children's Services. That would be such a blessing for our division. And so we're going to just, again, all of the divisions are wrapping around this initiative. We really need to get the word out and educate the Portage County residents of what has happened with children's services and why the need is there. And so I also outreach to the Record Courier, and they're gonna come and do a story in late
Okay.
March with us. So that'll be good to put attention.
So that
on.
actually should almost be a break even from what you're delinquent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So just an update, but we're number one. Really excited also, this is just an update that we're now participating, this is our second semester with Kent State, the College of Business Administration. Last semester, they participated in 3 projects with 3 of our divisions. Mandy's OMJ with the Go Forward initiative. They worked with Children's Services, and they also worked with the group home. So they're gonna do it again. We're gonna establish a community garden with the group home. And so our Shrewsbury family, for whom we leased the group home from, has given us permission to put a community garden on that land. And so just an exciting new initiative with Kent State. Dr. Porter is the dean, and he wants us to continue on throughout the year. So we're really excited about that. So I just wanted to update you on that. And then we are going to embark on our 3rd round of interest-based bargaining negotiations with AFSCME 1696. So we have our 4 sessions set up, April 5th, April 21st, May 19th, and June 25th. So as you know, we only finalized a 1-year contract last year. There were no financials in that contract because of Children's Services. So, you know, our hopes are that the levy passes too, and when we go into negotiations or halfway through, that we can offer some increases to our staff, which none of us, you know, received this year. So questions on that interest-based bargaining? I have a typo on the prosecutor's memo, and so I want, if I could give that to you. Can you pass it?
Yeah. Or you can give it to Tony, I'll get it.
Okay. I had way too many numbers on one of the lines, like $3 trillion, but.
I know.
So our current contract with the prosecutor's office annual stands at $343,773.42. When we were reviewing recent invoices for 4th quarter for payment processing, we identified payroll increases of $3,721.08. So therefore, we would have to present to you an amendment of the contract to be able to increase that, to be able to cover that cost. So if you support that, then the contract would go through Joanne and be presented to you as all our contracts do, but I just wanted to give you an update on that.
Okay.
Good?
Yep.
If I could get my bearings together to put this, get my rent chicken scratch, it's not a formal document, it's a lot of notes, so if I could just push things away. So, topic on rent, I think over the, over the last 6.5, 7 years that I've been here, I know I've always broached the topic of rent to commissioners over time, and at one point, we looked at a different facility. We did a study and we looked at a different facility with the hopes that we could get staff together, but I think we've really settled in right now that we're in the buildings that we're in. But I wanted to give some history and then provide to you some 3 asks or requests for consideration. So because of the pandemic, as you know, all departments did, but Portage County Job and Family Services, we activated our COOP plan, continuity of operation plan, on March 16th. That was a result of COVID. And so at that time, we maintained 38 employees physically in our buildings, and 145 of them went home to telework. And that was, you know, with the support of the commissioners, but also Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. We had to take all the equipment into homes. And so it was just that moving forward, we weren't sure if it was a week, if it was a month, if it was 2 months. And then in consult with Gene Roberts in June, he had advised that a journal entry had passed. You all know this, but, and that the Board of Commissioners had decided to keep the buildings closed through December 31st. So that was end of June into July. And so for that, we have paid rent in the administration building through July. We kind of froze in that space. And then unbeknownst to me, our accountants did pay all of the rent in 2020 for the Riddle Block, so that's been paid. But I come before you and ask if there would be consideration that you look at the amount of space we actually occupied in the buildings during that period and be open to a credit in 2020 as a result of that. So we, not looking before June, because we were in influx, but from June to December, would ask that you would consider that. So we looked at space from our percentage. We actually had our clerical person, who used to be a maintenance person, measure the space that we actually occupied, these 30+ staff. And it correlates to about 14%. So we occupied about 14% of our space as opposed to 86%. And we have numbers and that we just didn't bring a full report. We wanted to broach the topic with you. So again, I would ask for your consideration to reduce our rent in 2020 based on the occupied space amount. And then that, if approved, that we be issued a credit for the months that we paid for which we were not fully occupying the space. So I have like 3 different sections. I don't know if you want me to pause and then go to the second one and then pause and go to the third one, or just keep running and then open it up.
Keep going.
Just keep going.
Do we
Okay.
have numbers that go with these?
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
It's in chicken scratch. Again, we didn't put it in the report. So, but definitely from a overpaid standpoint, we identified that we overpaid in admin about $30,625. And then the Riddle Block, $55,132. So that's section 1. And so Maximus is the company that Portage County is contracted with for the cost allocation plan. And so we don't have the 2021 leases out or ready or prepared at this point. So the second section relates to the cost allocation plan. And so if and when that's developed, one consideration I wanted to ask of, in light of the Children's Services financial situation, would the Board of Commissioners consider giving us grace and not paying any rent in 2021 because of Children's Services for the admin building alone, not the Riddle Block? That's kind of my second pause and put that out there. The third one, if that would not be an option, we did some measurements in hallways in the admin building specifically. And so our hallways on the 2nd and 3rd floor are about 7 feet wide. And the average business kind of hallway space when you're looking at businesses outside of a hospital setting are about 3 feet wide. So again, if one, which would be a wonderful ask, would not be considered, we'd like to reduce our square footage because there's some dead space that we occupy in the 2nd and 3rd floor in this building. So again, you can't do anything with that extra 4 foot of hallway.
But you guys do use it for storage, and I see you have copiers in some of the hallways.
There's a few of them have copiers.
Because I mean, it's hard to break down hallway space, and you're the only ones going down to that end, correct? I mean, there's no one else in the hallways. Is it just for JFS's use?
The 7 foot hallways are just JFS use.
That's just the building.
Okay.
It's the building. It's the
My
building.
question is, have you looked at any other business that what you just asked for would be viable? In any business at all? That there are a lot of companies, but let me go back one. You talked about federal law, state being able to say, hey, our people can work at home. Is that going forward?
I would love it to go forward.
I know you would like to. You said federal and state are looking at doing that, being able to work not in the office, but you'd have your walk-ins or.
Yeah.
Is that going to happen? Or we don't know?
We do know, and so I have also, I didn't come today prepared to talk about that, but I do have a letter from the president of the ODJFS Association that talks about the new initiatives for the state. So I would like to present that to you. And there are counties that are still teleworking now.
Right.
And so they're still going to have to present to their Board of Commissioners on what the future looks like, but it's being considered.
Okay, so it's not approved. The initiative means we're thinking about it.
It's still in existence in some of the counties.
Yeah, because they haven't opened the building. So my question is that in the sphere of people that I know that have businesses, that you are, I rented a space of 10,000 square feet because I had 300 employees
Right.
working there. The pandemic hit. I don't believe there's anybody that I've heard of said, hey, your rent is, we forgive your rent. You got jobs and family services. I know you guys are a little bit different. We forgive the rent. We're only using a third of what you rented us. That means as soon as I do that, that space is eligible to be leased to somebody else if we were to do that. So you can feasibly lose that before that initiative becomes that. So, I mean, I get the ask, and I understand jobs and family services and the financial crisis, but reality is that probably would not happen in any other business that I could think of.
No, and I completely agree with you on that. On the other end of the spectrum, again, years ago, we were given permission to look at an alternative space for job and family. And we did that, and we came back and presented that proposal to the board at that time, where we looked at more open space where we could utilize cubicles and really maximize. And then the commissioners did not make a decision on that. So ultimately, I would love to find a space where exactly what you said, that we would maintain it and that we could maximize hallways and those things and use cubicles as opposed to, it's just very awkward, especially in this building, to be able to make necessary adjustments for staffing levels.
But you know
So-
what, Kelly Jo, it's by the grace of God, we didn't purchase that building, because now we have a big space sitting empty. I mean, and we'd still be paying for it, and it'd be, you know, if we would have bought the Tops building and you've got people off site, is sort of what Tony's saying. It's sort of a blessing we didn't buy it, because
That would have been a cost savings for us from a rent if we would have bought it back several years ago with what we had.
yeah, but now you're saying you don't need as much space, so how would we?
No, we need it now unless you all.
Unless the initiative,
Unless-
the best
Unless the
initiative, we
initiative,
don't
but if
know.
the
Then we wouldn't
initiative
need
goes
it.
through,
Yeah.
we
We
would
would
have
be
been stuck with a
stuck,
big,
a big
huge
old
building.
building.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, if the
It's a
initiative
blessing
goes
we
through,
didn't move on that.
if the
because-
initiative goes through, absolutely, this could be a central home space for us,
Yeah.
and then we would be able to work with the space that's been allotted to us.
Because this goes government, what do we think an initiative means? This year, next year, 5 years from now?
I can present it next month and if
No,
you
not,
support
no, no,
it-
no, no. You have an initiative from the state. And that initiative would affect you and how you operate there. So not what you want. What is the initiative that you're saying that the state says, hey, that's a really good idea. 3/4 of your people can work at home and we have 1/4% or a third here.
So they've supported that.
But they have their initiative. They've supported it, but nobody's made it official.
Well, they leave it up to the county commissioners, the areas, to
Mhm.
make the final decision.
I didn't
So
hear
the-
that before.
Yeah, they won't
Yeah.
dictate, it's up to each commissioner.
And
Okay.
Yeah.
So the county commissioners, once they give the okay, we can say, all right, leave 2/3 of your people home, have 1/3 of your people in the office.
Absolutely.
You know, Kelly Jo, you brought up before how other counties handle rent with JFS. Will you go over that again for Tony's?
Yes, and I actually have like 6 directors provided, and I didn't come prepared for this discussion, but I have inquired, so it varies again from county
You
to
talked about
county.
that the very first day we met.
We did,
Yep.
so I can throw like Licking County out just as an example, because it's a great example for me to give, but then I can give you Mahoning, which is a bad example, but
Yin and yang.
Licking County has about 160,000 residents, similar to ours.
Mhm.
They have 4 divisions just like us. They pay no rent to their board of commissioners. They pay maintenance and those kinds of fees. Their building is owned, so the commissioners have decided to not allow them to pay rent. On the other end of the spectrum, you have Mahoning County, bigger county than ours. I don't even have the demographics. They pay about $500,000 in rent. So it varies from county to county.
Yeah.
It is up to the board of commissioners to assign or not assign rent based on what all you decide, but it does vary. A few of the counties said we pay minimal, thousands a year, and some have said, 100,000, 150, 500 was the
And
biggest.
you know the total that you paid?
Here,
I'll defer to Susie's record.
360 plus 81 is 441, and then I didn't bring the annex, that was like 30-some thousand. So without the annex, about $441,000.
here.
That's
But
a
that is-
little less.
That's utilities and maintenance included.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's everything.
so that's everything.
That's
So
So that's not our indirect cost, that's just our rent. Our indirect costs, we pay another $250,000.
But the indirect cost portions for like the auditor and whatnot, what we call your rent includes the utilities.
Utilities, you don't pay utility bills.
Etc.
Correct.
Exactly.
So we,
That's our indirect cost that we pay for all the other county services.
so
Yeah,
is
For
that,
use of payroll, et
Yeah, it
cetera.
might actually be paid, I don't have the number.
so I get confused easily. So we have 470,000 that we say is rent, that includes maintenance and utilities.
Yes, just one.
Yes, okay, so one, so.
number.
Some maintenance, because we have our own maintenance person too, so it's that piece is shared.
Okay, so the question would be, is if I have 470,000 for rent, that is $50,000 for electrical a year, and then $10,000 for maintenance a year. So to break down, right? So I mean, whatever those numbers are.
It's all inclusive. Is that what you're
Correct,
saying?
but you'd have to break it down to rent,
We actually have it
utility.
broken down.
Yeah, you do, Todd has that, he should have said yes,
absolutely.
okay. All right,
Okay,
that's all I have.
anything else?
Well, other than I'm asking for consideration,
What were the three things? I have two. Was the square footage reduced the third thing?
the first one was reduction because of out of the building. The
Correct, for
second one
2020.
was no rent in 2021, and later, just for the admin building. And then the third one was a reduction in square footage
Okay.
based on hallways. That was just specific to hallways.
Okay.
So will there be a follow-up, could I ask, from Todd or?
No, we'll have to think about it
Yeah.
and discuss it and see.
And then maybe come back for that answer?
Yeah.
The big yes.
Okay, will you just give me an idea when it's good time to come back? I don't want to pester you guys.
On a
either.
Thursday.
Okay, I'll come back on a Thursday.
All
Okay?
right,
Sorry.
Thank you.
Oh, Sue has a
Yes,
resolution.
it has one resolution.
Yep, I just have a regular shared resolution, for the third payment, for fourth quarter, in the 175 for children's services to,
It is moved to transfer the funds from Fund 1415, Child Welfare Special Levy Funds, of Fund 1410, Public Assistance Funds.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, we.
thank you. See ya.
Here's a public comment.
Oh.
Oh, 11. I can
You
choose.
have two.
You know what? We're a little head, well. Can we recess for a second?
Vicki, these are my old glasses, so my eyes are killing me. So will you read the resolutions, the rest of them? Okay, great. Yeah, I'm getting a headache because
Oh,
I left mine in Florida.
oh, yeah. Hey, Amy, we're gonna recess just for a second.
Okay.
Maybe they're checking out some kind of movers on that money.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Yes, they are.
He mentioned that he would be in that thing with the Lord.